My name is Wayne Liu. I'm very happy to be in Moscow in White Nights. This is my first time over here. It's a very beautiful city. I love Moscow already. Very good, very historical buildings, very nice people, friendly people. So thank you for taking the time to listen to my talk today. Today we'll be talking about two things. Number one, the future of web games. And then we'll proceed to talk about number two, new opportunities for you as game developers to engage and grow your gaming community. So I represent the Facebook Games Partner Engineering EMEA. And without further ado, I'd like to get started on my presentation. So what is the future of web games? In July, we worked together with web browsers and Adobe to announce the end of life for Flash. How will this affect the future of web games? And who will be the successor to Flash? In the following slides, I hope to address these questions, and we shall learn more about this. So this is a timeline for Flash end of life. As you are well aware, Flash has been a great technology for game development since the 1990s, but it is soon reaching its end of life support. So in July this year, Adobe and browsers have worked together to announce the timelines to stop supporting Flash. And this will happen in 2020, in 4 years' time. So what this end-of-life support means is that Adobe will stop shipping updates, and it will stop distributing Flash players. So that means that in these 4 years, if you have an existing Flash game on the web, or if you're thinking of building one new title on the web, you should think about investing in a new development pipeline. You should think about investing in the new technology, in a new game engine instead of Flash. So these are the announcements by Adobe and the browsers, by Apple, Google, Microsoft, Mozilla. The font is a bit off here. Sorry about that. And also Unity as well. So to summarize this, Adobe is advocating developers to use Animate CC to develop HTML5 content. Apple Safari is now requiring explicit approval on each website before allowing you to run the Flash plugin. Chrome has shared and seen 30% decline in Flash usage over the past 3 years. Microsoft is using a click-to-run model for Flash ever since the Windows 10 Creator update. Firefox has published a roadmap for Flash migration, a transition guide for developers on their MDN web documentation. Unity is adding WebAssembly and shared array buffers to better support WebGL build target for game developers. All of this combined together makes you think about the investment in new technologies that range from ASM.js, WebAssembly, WebSockets, WebGL, WebRTC. Basically, the move away from Flash. So now that you have learned a bit more about why you should migrate away from Flash, you want to understand what is the current landscape for web games. So this is how Flash looks like in different browsers for users, in Chrome, in Firefox, Microsoft, and in Safari. So there's going to be more and more explicit user consent that is required to run Flash over these 4 years. So on Facebook web, we have over 200 plus HTML5 games. These games are future-proof because they are on HTML5, and they will be supported by browsers after 2020. So there's a few popular titles like Candy Crush, Pirate Games, Best Fiends, Vikings, World Series Focus. All of these big titles have already made the move to migrate away from Flash to HTML5. So what is Facebook doing for game developers? We will help to detect which browsers the player is using. If you're using a browser that is not supporting WebGL, we'll recommend another browser, such as Chrome, Firefox, and Edge, or even newer versions of the browsers, or even Game Room Client. All you have to do is to enable this WebGL option on the left, inside your Facebook web dashboard. And we will do this detection and recommend this to the gamer on your behalf. For our PCs, we have Game Room Client, which is it's not a replacement for the web browser, games running on web browsers, but it supports existing Facebook games that run on Flash or HTML5. It also runs native PC exe games. So this helps developers in this 4 years transition period from now to 2020. So we've partnered together with Unity since Unity 5.6 to have a Facebook build target within the Unity editor. So within this Unity editor and the Facebook target, this allows you to easily build your Unity game to publish on Facebook web. This allows you to easily upload your WebGL bundle to Facebook hosting for free. This allows you to get the latest updates on WebGL improvements from Unity. And you get support from major browsers such as Chrome, Firefox, and Microsoft. And there's no plugins required with WebGL. It's different from Flash, where a user has more friction. They have to download a Flash player plugin. So WebGL is definitely the way that we recommend you to go forward with. Okay, so after learning what's the current landscape of web games, you want to ask yourself, what can we do in terms of game development to embrace HTML5? So in this section, we will cover a bit about the different game engines and toolkits available for you, for your game development team, to start building for HTML5. So these are the game engines that you can use today for HTML5, that supports HTML5 development. So on the left, we have 5 game engines that support 3D games. On the right is the game engines that support 2D games. So the advantages of using these HTML5 engines are that it's very optimized for HTML5 is very optimized for the web, for Facebook Canvas. And most of them come with the mobile web support. This also future-proof your game for HTML5 gaming platform. Most of it is open source, or it comes at low cost for you in terms of licensing fee. And because it is heavily optimized, there's normally a smaller download required for your game, less memory footprint, so it's easier for, there's less friction for gamers. Note that, the performance is not as good as native mobile applications yet. It's catching up, but it's not 100% there yet. So besides the earlier game engines, there are some cross-platform engines such as Unity, Cocoas, or Default. So in terms of when you compare the pros and cons, you can think about, cross-platform engines. They are very good to run natively on mobile and on desktop. They have a very large developer community with great plugins and tools because they are very established. They have been in the business for a long time. But the cons are that, they might not put enough emphasis on web or mobile web performance because native or desktop experience is our main business. This might lock out some low-spec gamers which are running on lower-end devices. And because their library set caters for different platforms, you normally have a larger download for your game client, and also they tend to occupy more memory footprint in terms of loading the libraries. And most of these engines require higher licensing costs. Besides game engines, there's a few custom toolkits that you can explore for your game, namely Enscripten, which is based on LLVM, which allows you to compile C, C++ code to ASM.js. Enscripten is actually used by Unity and Unreal game engines. You can use Hex, which is a framework and a cross-platform language that supports Flash ActionScript, and it compiles into bytecode. You have OpenFL. This is a framework that supports the Hex language, and it allows you to publish to the web. An example of this is Papers, Please. It's a very popular mobile game. It's also running on Steam, and it's using the OpenFL. framework. There's also Bridge.net, which performs C# conversion to JavaScript. You also have Unity to Canvas, which is an alternative to Unity WebGL. In addition to Unity WebGL, it supports Internet Explorer 9, it supports certain mobile web browsers. So there's a range of different toolkits here. What this allows you to do is to heavily customize the experience based on your game engine, because most developers have a different game engine. It can be in-house, it can be, third party. So having these different toolkits will allow you to customize it to your developer setup. By customizing this will allow you to future-proof your game engine to whatever changes that comes to the web gaming landscape. It also allows you to target the current web gaming titles and also upcoming platforms. But this, in terms of cons, will require you to invest a lot of research and developments to investigate these different solutions. It also requires you to train your engineering staff to learn about these different toolkits. Okay, so we have talked about in the past section about what is web games, what is the future web games, what is Flash, what is HTML5. So let's take this from another perspective and talk about opportunities for you to engage your gaming community. So as you can see, this is a Facebook family of apps. We have 2 billion users in Facebook. We have 1.2 billion on Messenger and groups, and then we have Instagram and then WhatsApp. So our mission at Facebook, through our family of apps, is to give game developers the power to build community and to bring the world closer together. So Facebook has over 2 billion people, and out of this 2 billion, a large number of players, of people, 800 million people play at least one Facebook connected game every month. So our mission in terms of gaming is to build the world's community to discover, play, watch, and share games. So we want to build the world's gaming community by being where all the users are. That means being on different platforms such as mobile, PC, console, and also web. So if we can plug players into their gaming lives as and when with different devices, this will find success. This will engage not only gamers but also find success for game developers. Page and groups nowadays facilitate a lot of the organic community behavior, and we are investigating more and more surfaces for you to leverage to build more engagement with your users. So we are looking at seamless integration within these groups and community to drive this flywheel effect from Facebook to your game and then back to Facebook itself. This flywheel effect, we believe, will continue to re-engage your players and to make them play more and more games. So we mentioned Discover, Play, Watch, and Share. This is our Play surfaces, which is basically the game room client. And on the right is our instant games platform, which is on both Facebook app and also Messenger. So for Game Room, as you know, we announced this last year. This is a PC downloadable gaming platform where you can play free-to-play and premium games. And we want to meet PC gamers where they are. You have this gamer feed where you can discover new titles. And you will have this watch games live, we call it the watch tab, where you can watch live videos, recorded VODs, and all kinds of content that you follow or subscribe to. And you can also interact with fellow gamers directly on the video. With RJ Games, which has launched their title on Game Room, they have noticed 18% more time spent for their title under control on Game Room. They have noticed 3 times more PvP sessions in Game Room, and they have a net increase of 48% higher RPU, ARPU on Game Room. And for Pixonic, which launched War Robots recently, they have plus 20% higher up-down. And this is a quote from Pixonic. They say that they wanted to find a new audience for their game and experiment with PC controls for War Robots. So Pixonic can now confidently say that Game Room is the perfect surface for that. Since the game's launch, Game Room has shown the highest up-down, which is on average 20% higher than other platforms. Okay, so that we've talked about Game Room, let's talk a bit about Instant Games, our other surface platform for gamers. So we launched this last November, and this allows, basically in a nutshell, allows players to play games on mobile devices, on newsfeed, and on Messenger. So this is how it looks like on different platforms, mobile devices, Android, iOS, and on the web browser. So you can, why have we decided to launch Instant Games? Is because, web technologies is evolving very fast, network speed is improving all the time, and the web technology supports different different technologies such as WebGR, 3D, VR. So there's a lot of potential in this area. So we want to allow the HTML5 gaming community to easily develop their instant games throughout different platforms. Instant games is naturally social because we think that when people find something interesting, they want to share and play with other people. So we've built it very tightly within Messenger so that you can play with your friends. So you can post games directly into the thread, Messenger thread with other friends, and you can choose to play together with them. One example here is Words with Friends, where you have a one-to-one session with another player, and you play a multi-turn-based experience. So instant games, as it evolves, we have our platform is maturing. What is new in our SDK is richer gameplay, the Games tab, and gaming bots. I'll talk more about this in the next few slides. So rich gameplay, what does this mean? It means that you have more flexibility as a developer to control the end-to-end gaming experience. You can customize the in-thread updates within the Messenger thread to talk to and to engage your players. You can have more channels to talk about, to re-engage your players to come back to the game. So the Games tab. So this Messenger games for instant games wasn't very easily discoverable. We have decided to make a Games tab at the bottom of Messenger because we find that this really serves our mission to connect people and community and to bring games into players' lives. So we have launched the Games tab globally, and since F8 earlier this year in April, we announced 1.5 billion gameplay sessions. But after we have launched the Games tab, we have seen a 3 times increase in average session length ever since April. So in terms of re-engagement, we can use Messenger bots now to re-engage players by sending them messages to come back to the game. So in this example for Everwing, you can claim rewards if you have completed a quest, or you can join PvP raids with a boss battle. For Words with Friends, you can continue playing with your friends. The game will notify you to come back to the game, and so on and so forth. So when this is optimized, we have seen an increase in retention of over 40% when games have started to use Messenger bots within their game. So this slide talks about the new game launches that we did in the recent months. So Final Fantasy is our first title on instant games that is RPG, and is our first Final Fantasy title. It's built by Square Enix, and it was launched in September. Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, so you can try it out. Valerian, Space Run is an endless runner launched in August, tied to a movie release, and is built by Spiel Games. So last but not least, I would like to share an update about Share. so we mentioned earlier, play, watch, discover, share. So Share is the last pillar of the Facebook platform, where we think about camera effects, where we can engage players directly in a camera. We can record a photo or video and share with your friends. So basically, this allows face tracking and then creating 3D objects that map to your face. And you can access data within the game. The hammering sound is a Clash Builder effect. Over here in the center, the leftmost is the EA Mass Effect. And to my right is Blizzard Diablo 3 Necromancer. So these are the few camera effects that we've launched for games. And we'll continue to launch more over the next few months. Okay. Thank you
very much.